I feel like you all deserve a follow-up on the most recent events. Um, we lost about 40,000 people on Church of Gail because the Gail Shield went down to zero. And then actually there was a period when I made that video where I asked everyone to pray to higher powers. That actually knocked it down to minus 500%. And what Buddha did was Buddha came in and explained to everybody that prayer has changed. That instead of praying to, for those of you that come from a Christian background like I do, instead of praying to Jesus, we need to pray, we need to just think of something that keeps us calm. And focus on that instead. Because prayer is not now, if it's to Jesus, it's interference. So, yeah, I've been struggling with this because I've been a Christian for over 50 years, and it's very difficult for me to grasp this new concept of prayer. And yeah, I still don't think I've mastered it. Brent was telling me, he said it's really simple. You know what the rules are, just go by them. But he's only been a Christian since 2011. I have been a Christian since 1971, and it's difficult for me. I have a real need to be religious. I don't know why I'm like that. I've been like that just about my whole life, and a real need to worship a deity. Though I am finding that Buddhism is very helpful to me. The Buddhist philosophy and spiritual practice is meeting some needs in my life, and so I am going in that direction. I'm exploring Buddhism right now, and of course with the God Buddha on our side, it helps. It seems like the Buddhist spiritual practice really works and brings us the results that we want. But anyways, yeah, we lost 40,000 people. Zach described them as red shirts. These are the people on Church of Gail that are like our service personnel. I'm sure that they all went to heaven though. And approximately 25,000 people were injured. We're using automaton doctors to deal with the injuries. Rule 13 was very brave during the battle. She went out there and exploded penises, which, as you know, she has the ability to do. But one of the Jesuits did injure her right, I believe it was her right perfect breast. And Zach Knight said that he killed all the Jesuits that hurt her perfect breast, and he's really happy that it appears she's going to make a full recovery. And Brent describes 13 as a real trooper. Brent was very tired after the battle. He obviously was in his Mecha Gale suit and using his Mecha Gale powers to, with the Gale shield completely down and our defenses completely down. He was doing everything he could to fend off hordes and hordes of Jesuits. He described it as a slaughterhouse as the battle was happening. When the Gale shield went down to zero, and even less when I pleaded to the higher powers for help, there were basically no defenses on Church of Gail, which has been our biggest advantage. I didn't realize that the shields at Church of Gail are basically the same thing as my Gale shield. They're both from the same power source. Yeah, so that just emphasizes to me how important it is for me to make sure I do the Gale commandments and that I obey the rules that have been handed down to me to make sure that my Gail shield stays strong. Yeah, automaton doctors are working on the injured right now, and from what I understand, they're amazing. Remember when I accidentally killed 72 million people? So it's like, I feel like I can't, to be honest with you, I feel like I can't do anything right now. I'm scared to make this video, but I'm making this just to prove to myself that I can make a video without causing, I'm following an outline, without causing the Gail shield to go down to minus 500%. I'm doing this just to prove to myself that I can do it. It's just that it's a Gail commandment for me to make a YouTube video, and I'm so afraid to make one now. So, okay, so let me tell you some other stuff. I did decide after my mother's transition, because that's basically what it was, because Buddha was with her when she passed and left her earthly body and is now up in heaven with my stepdad Bill, that I decided it's okay to create an automaton of my mother. And we have an automaton of her. I'm hoping that it didn't get destroyed. She's probably fine. An automaton of my mother living on Church of Gail, and she's in her young beauty pageant body. The reason I wanted to do that is because I'm hoping that she's able to reach my sister. And Buddha did inform me that my sister is not the Antichrist. And he mentioned that we do have an Antichrist. So, and Buddha kind of hinted that we may find out who this person is. The reason the last videos that I made had such terrible resolution is because my computer fan, I went in there and vacuum cleaned the inside of the computer, and I tried to vacuum the fan to get, because I have a very dusty apartment. The blowers just blow out dust really bad. And so I tried to go in there and vacuum the dust from the, I think they call it the heat sink. And I got the brilliant idea from watching a YouTube video that I could remove the fan and vacuum it more thoroughly. And I broke the fan because I didn't remove it properly. And I had to wait. I was able to reattach it, but because I broke it, it didn't clamp down into the computer. And I've learned that with a computer, that when you reattach a fan and it doesn't clamp down, this one attaches to the motherboard, that it's not going to work properly. So my computer throttled down in order to accommodate the fact that the motherboard wasn't being cooled because the fan wasn't working right. And that's why everything slowed down, and it was very difficult for me to use my webcam. But fortunately, and then what happened was I thought I broke the computer, and I thought I heard a brain-to-brain communication from Brent to go, because I was even having trouble getting on Skype and stuff, though I was able to get on, but everything was so slow. So I thought I heard Brent tell me brain-to-brain to go to Walmart and to get a new laptop. So that's what I did. And then when I came back, even though Brent lives in my apartment, I never see him, and I never hear his voice. It's like he's in another dimension. But yet I know he's here, because when I go to bed at night, I can feel him humping on me. He's crazy about me. Yeah, but he doesn't, I don't hear an audible voice. So the only way I can really be sure that when he wants to communicate with me, and to be sure it's from him, is through Skype. Like, I can talk to him brain to brain, but I'm never sure if it's him or an imposter. So apparently an imposter told me to go to Walmart and get a new laptop. And because I'm doing without a car, I ended up taking the bus to go there, and then I took the bus, and then I walked back. And when I got home, I saw a message on my Skype that said, I don't think you should get a new laptop. I'm going to order the part for you for your computer. Yeah. Yeah, I see. I've been under orders not to order anything online, and to only and to follow my men's advice. And I think it's because Satan and the Jesuits are so obsessed with me. I need to be very careful with anything that I do, like ordering online. So I try to listen to my men and everything. I find when I do so, I'm better off. I am Satan's like #1 target, in case you haven't noticed. And so, yeah, so I came home and saw a message on my Skype that said, no, you shouldn't have got the laptop. I said, oh, I got a bad brain to brain, because I thought that was you. And so I said, do you want me to return the laptop? He said, yes. So I returned the laptop. And I discovered when I tried to get on the laptop that it was very difficult to use. Like, it wasn't, the only way I could get the internet was through wireless, which I don't like that, because Satan's always messing with my computer, so I can see why they said to return the laptop. So I returned it and got my money back. And then Brent suggested that I should shop for phones, because I've been having my phone broke. And I spent 2 hours listening to a salesperson try to sell me a phone, and I almost signed up for her, but because I was a victim of a Jesuit scam artist in August, and I filed a report about it, I wasn't able to sign on with any phone company because they said that there was a freeze on my credit. Now, I don't recall doing that, so my men said, don't worry about the phone. We will get you one when we will take care of it. Anyways, to make a long story short, my life is very complicated. I'm not complaining, but I'm just letting you know it's because I am the #1 target of the Jesuits. And when I was born in 1957, my first month of life, I almost died. I was allergic to my formula. So yeah, Satan is obsessed with me. and he's the head of the Jesuits. So anyways, excuse me, I made a new outro video, which I think shows the new direction that I and my men are going. There's something making me cough, and I just wanted to let you know, as far as I know, the shields are back up. I'm not sure if they're at 100%, but you all keep doing what you're doing. Remember, in place of prayer, because right now prayer is considered bad interference. So what we need to do instead of prayer, for those of you that are from a Christian background, just think of something that keeps you calm. And yeah, as for myself, they've noticed, like, if I go out and meditate, like the other day, just seeing the falling leaves just calmed me down. And whenever that happens, they said the Gail shield strengthens. So yeah, I'm a very religious person, and I'm still struggling with this transition in my life, getting away from 50 years being an evangelical Christian, and struggling over questions like, what is the meaning of life, and like, is it okay to worship a god now, and all sorts of things. Buddha told me that most gods like being worshipped, but Buddha doesn't seem to encourage us to worship him. Right now, I'm kind of transitioning from evangelical Christianity to Buddhism. My ancestors were very devout Buddhists, so maybe it's in my genes. Personal opinion, I think you can transition to whatever works for you, whatever brings you joy, whatever encourages you to be loving and tolerant and respectful of others. I think all of that would be fine. And I don't think we should completely abandon all the good things we learned from our Christianity either. Yeah, I was listening to a video by Doug's Dharma, and he's been really helping me to orient myself to Buddhism as I'm kind of transitioning from Christianity to Buddhism. And he said the Buddha, when he was alive and he approached new converts, he told them to thoroughly investigate their faith, the Buddhist faith, spiritual practice, and make sure this is what you really want to do. And he didn't encourage them to completely abandon their old teacher or to quit supporting your old teacher, because he believed in harmony between the different religious systems. He apparently did not like the us-them mentality that is so prominent in a lot of religious circles. So my approach right now is I haven't abandoned Christianity. I'm just creating like a new brand, kind of like a combo Christianity, Buddhism, and I'm still not sure how I'm going to end up as far as my religious practice. But it's definitely, like, I know I need to do the Gail commandments, okay? Simply because it's good for our health, our mental and physical health. And yeah, the universe was built on unconditional love. I know that much, okay? So here's where I'm getting some of my meaning in life. It's built on unconditional love, and Buddhism teaches this too. This is where I'm kind of integrating the two. So to me, the way forward is to remember that, and I'm still trying to resolve the question of why is there suffering in this life, you know? I mean, I know the simplistic answer that Christianity gives, which is sin and all that, but it seems to me like the answer might be a little bit more complicated than that. And I haven't completely answered that question yet. I've been exploring Buddhism to try to help. But anyways, I wanted to give you all a report. I am enjoying my time with my husband, Brent, and I'm really thrilled that the man who is my soulmate, who back in the early 1990s I wanted so badly, and I was married at the time to somebody who was a pedophile and who did not love me. And I was a codependent in that marriage, and Brent helped me to evolve to the place where I am now. And I'm happy, just thrilled that he lives with me now. And even though I don't literally see his 3D physical form in front of me, I do feel him humping at night. And what was really interesting the other day, I noticed there was a charge on my my debit card, and I didn't do it. And what Brent did was, because he lives in my apartment, he got the card from my wallet and he ordered it for me online, the new fan. Yes, I'm looking at it right there, the new fan, and the and some filters to put over the vents so that when the air blows in, I can filter some of the dust out, so the computer will be healthier in my very dusty apartment. And that's proof to me that he lives here, because there's nobody else here. So he placed the order, but then I've always known that he's here. I mean, I'm convinced by the humping. I literally feel him humping on me. He's very into me. And yeah, so I said, there's been a charge on my card. Did you order using my card from my apartment? He said, yes, I'm the one who did that. And the part arrived about 2 days ago, and I installed it, and I did good. I was afraid I'd break. I don't have a lot of self-confidence. When I was growing up, my mother always criticized me and called me a selfish, no good girl, so I'm always dealing with negative self-image problems. And maybe that's the reason I have such a need to be religious. I feel like maybe I can make up for being a bad girl by worshiping a supreme, deity who's perfect and getting his love and adoration. I think that might be part of why I have such a need to be religious and why I've made so many mistakes in my life. I'm not saying Yeah, I to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I do know though that I want to do everything I can to keep the Gail Shield strong, and I'm still struggling with where to place myself religiously. I am going in a Buddhist direction, but I don't think I should abandon everything that I've learned from Christianity either. And I don't think Buddha would want me to do that either. So anyways, I wanted to make a follow-up. As far as I know, I haven't made any videos recently that have caused the weakening of the Gail Shield. After I post this one, I guess, I guess I'm going to find out. I think I'm safe thus far. Everybody, just remember, in place of prayer, if you come from a Christian background like me, just focus on whatever makes you feel joyful, calm, at peace. Maybe think of a flower, think of water. For me, looking at the falling leaves was very soothing. It kind of made me feel like it was saying, your life is changing. The leaves are falling and they're forming a peaceful blanket on the ground. Change, in this case, is a very good thing for you. And the tree, you're like the tree. The leaves are falling, but the tree is still alive. And in the spring, new leaves will grow. So, that's how the meditation affected me. And then the Gail Shield strengthened. So everybody, just focus on peaceful, tranquil thoughts. Let us respect each other. We shouldn't have us-them mentality. If you're from a Christian background like me, just kind of fuse in the good parts of Christianity. I mean, the Sermon on the Mount stuff, you know, like, well, the Buddhist told me to quit reading the Bible. Yeah, he said it's probably going to do you more harm than good. I used to read it from cover to, I've read it from cover to cover hundreds of times, and he told me I need to stop reading it. I have a tendency to try to get messages from the Bible, and yeah, and so that's what I've been doing. I've stopped reading it, and I even have to change up the way I pray. I can't pray expecting answers. So what am I doing in place of that? I'm trying to just meditate, and I'm trying to do more brain-to-brain talking to my husband, Brent. And for guidance, like if I'm confused, I'm just probably just going to have to go to Brent or Buddha and use my own brain and just stay calm and meditative. I do find that when I meditate, it seems to clear my mind from obsessions, which can be very unhealthy. And I have been watching a lot of videos from a channel called Doug's Dharma, which is really helping me to kind of transition from Christianity to Buddhism. But I haven't arrived yet. I'm still struggling with the transition. You got to remember, I am a Bible college graduate. Yes, I even turned down a chance to be an Air Force officer to go off to Bible college to train to be a missionary. And I had a real need to just worship Jesus. Yeah, it's been quite a transition for me. But then, you know, in the early 1990s, when Brent was in my life, I was all focused on him, and thinking about him made me really happy. He just seemed so Christ-like. And he still is like that to me. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and post this video and hope the Gail Shield doesn't weaken. Like I said, Brent it's a real joy to have my dream man as my husband. Even though I don't literally see him, I'm happy. I get most of my joy, I'm a little bit asexual, so I get most of my joy, I get in moods like that, you know. it gets worse with my old age. I just get most of my joy from the companionship that I have with such a superior person like my husband, Brent, who has such a beautiful heart and soul. Yeah. And he is such an asset to me. I rely on him for so much wisdom and guidance, and I'm just really grateful that he's in my life. So anyways, you guys, we need to continue to focus on keeping the Gail Shield strong and just live in the moment. Try not to obsess too much about the future or the past. Live in the moment. And if transitioning to Buddhism works for you, fine. If not, just find whatever helps you to be at peace and happy. And do the Gail commandments. Go out and touch grass. Enjoy your hobbies. Enjoy your life. And just remember, this is kind of helping me to find the meaning in life. This universe was created on unconditional love. And it was meant that we would all respect each other and understand that we all belong to each other. And we need to do everything we can to remove suffering. This is a Buddhist teaching. So right now, I think the way I'm going to find meaning in my life is striving for nirvana, which is, I want to help Buddha to bring about a multiverse where suffering someday will be eliminated. And that's where I'm getting my meaning in life. And that's why I'm doing my YouTube channel and trying to help people to live lives that will eliminate suffering. I still haven't completely figured out what causes it, and I tend to like to ruminate on that stuff, but I'm going to try to just live in the moment, be thankful, and so we can keep the Gail Shield strong. Yeah. Buddha told me one thing that really helps our chakras, he said, is visiting new places, like places you haven't been before, and exploring new things, and just whatever brings you joy and peace. So that I actually enjoy making videos because I enjoy helping people to find peace and joy. I know that may seem kind of strange when I did never mind. We're not going to go into the past. Here I am going into the past. Let's just live in the moment. Anyways, I've made a new outro to reflect the new direction of my life spiritually, and to hopefully encourage us all to meditate, be joyful, and live in the moment. I just want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters for all of their support, and we have a great time hanging out every Friday night, and we are all going to focus on meditating, living in the moment, and enjoying our lives, and we'll just have great fun Friday nights focusing on that.